Hello everyone, it's great to see you again. I hope you're all doing well. Autumn is my favorite season of the year, so today I want to invite you to an autumn-ish afternoon tea. For our tea, I'm going to bake up some screamingly delicious Gingersnap cookies. And since we can't live on cookies alone, I'm going to prepare some super simple tea sandwiches. We will enjoy our tea before a roaring fire in the parlor. First, a quick trip to the berry farm in Chatham, New York. I want to buy some dried ginger for the cookies and some fresh greens for the tea sandwiches. So please take a drive with me. Autumn has definitely arrived here in New York's Hudson Valley. The nights are cold, the mornings are crisp, and daytime temperatures are pleasantly mild. It's the season for cinnamon spice and everything nice.
Such a wonderful delight. Forgo, give up everything that I own. Yeah, I'd give it all up now just to be with you somehow. Unexpected love was found.
Gingersnap cookies are really easy to make, and you don't need any special equipment to mix the cookie dough. Now, first thing is to preheat the oven to 315 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 157 degrees Celsius. So what I have here is 1 2/3 cups, that's 236 grams of all-purpose flour, and I just put that in a medium-sized bowl. And to the flour, add a half teaspoon of baking soda and a half teaspoon of salt. I'm just using regular table salt here. 2 1/4 teaspoons of ground ginger, a half teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, and a pinch of black pepper. Black pepper does wonders for Gingersnap cookies. And then just whisk all of this together. And then set this flour mixture aside for a moment. On to the wet ingredients. What I have here is 1 stick or 113 grams of butter that I melted in the microwave. And I put that in a large mixing bowl. Then I'm going to add 100 grams of regular granulated sugar. That's a half cup of sugar. And 50 grams or a 1/4 cup of dark brown sugar. Just take a spatula and beat the butter and the sugars together. And again, you don't need any special equipment here. You certainly do not need a standing mixer. Now, we're going to add 1 egg yolk. This is from a large egg. Beat that in quickly. Then add a half teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Now, this vanilla extract was sent to me by a viewer named Heather Bondi. And I did send Heather a written thank you, but I'd like to thank her on camera today. She made this with vanilla beans and bourbon. Delicious stuff. Then add 2 tablespoons of unsulphured molasses. Last ingredient is 2 tablespoons of whole milk. Now, add the flour mixture to the wet ingredients. And I'm going to do this in 2 additions. So I'm adding half the flour. Just beat that in with the spatula. Told you these cookies are really easy to make. And then the remaining flour. What you're looking for is a very stiff dough. We're all mixed here, so now it's time to form the cookies. this recipe makes about 45 2-inch diameter cookies. So what you'll need are 3 baking sheets lined with parchment paper. Although you don't have to bake all of the cookies at one go, you can freeze the cookie dough. I make 2-inch diameter cookies because I like to serve them for afternoon tea, so I want them small. But you could make medium-sized cookies or large cookies, whatever you like. And to ensure uniform size, I'm using a 1-inch diameter cookie scoop. But you could just pull off, sections of dough. You don't have to use a cookie scoop. And I'm going to put 15 scoops on this baking sheet, and I'm spacing the cookies about 2 inches apart. For this next step, put about a half cup of regular granulated sugar in a Ziploc bag, and then take the bits of dough and roll them between the palms of your hands to form a ball, and toss the ball into the sugar. And you can do, 6 or 7 of these at a time. Then give the bag a shake, and voila, all of the cookies are coated with sugar. And then just replace them on the baking sheet. Again, that's about 2 inches apart. All right, all of my cookies are formed and sugared. Now I'm going to bake 2 of the trays, and this tray, the third tray, I'm going to pop into the freezer. And once these little dough balls are solidly frozen, I will transfer them to a Ziploc bag. Then I can have fresh Gingersnap cookies whenever I want them. All right, the cookies are all baked, and again, they smell terrific. I'm going to let them cool on the baking sheets for about 5 minutes, and then I will transfer them to wire racks to finish cooling. And as they cool, they will develop a crispy edge. I'm going to make 3 types of tea sandwiches, and the first one is cranberry and turkey. I think this is a great autumn time sandwich. So what I have here is some cranberry sauce that I bought in a jar at my local supermarket. And it's nothing more than cranberries, sugar, and pectin. It's good stuff. And I'm sure you can find something similar at your own market. And then, just to give the sauce a little more perfume, I'm going to add a tiny pinch of ground cardamom. I love cardamom. It has a wonderful floral scent. Stir that in. Now, I'm using very thinly sliced white bread. This is from Pepperidge Farm. And so that the cranberry sauce doesn't soak through the bread, I'm going to butter the bread, just very lightly. And you want to butter each slice. This is softened butter. It's Irish butter, my favorite. Now add some of the cranberry sauce and spread it out with an offset spatula. Offset spatula is also great for spreading the butter. And then I have some very thinly sliced smoked turkey from the deli. I'll put 2 slices on here. Then I'm going to add some spinach leaves. Close the sandwich, press it down gently, and then cut off the crust. Now the reason you cut the crust after you filled the sandwich is so that your sandwich will have a clean edge. Then you can cut the sandwich into any shape you like. I'm going to do what's called fingers. So you cut the sandwich into thirds. The next sandwich is roast beef and horseradish. Now, if you don't like horseradish, don't make this sandwich, okay? I love horseradish. So what I have here is some mayonnaise, and I'm going to add just a small amount of horseradish and mix it into the mayonnaise. Then I have some whole wheat bread that I cut into rounds, just using a 2-inch biscuit cutter. I also cut the roast beef into 2-inch rounds with the same biscuit cutter. So then take the bread, put a dollop of the horseradish sauce on the bread. I'm just going to do that on this first round. Then add 1 or 2 rounds of the roast beef. Close the sandwich. Take a watercress leaf, put it on top, and secure it in place with a toothpick, like so. It makes a pretty little sandwich. And what would afternoon tea be without the traditional egg and cress sandwich? So I have some egg salad here. I'm not going to give you a recipe because there are a million different ways to make egg salad. Mine is kind of bland, so I'm going to add a little pinch of black pepper. You could use white pepper here. And for color, I'm going to give it a little pinch of paprika. I think smoked paprika would be very nice. And then stir that in. And this is the red watercress that I picked up at the berry farm earlier today. If you can't find watercress, you could always use arugula. And I've already buttered this bread. Sprinkle on the watercress. The watercress is going to give the sandwich some nice color and, of course, nice flavor. Watercress has a slight peppery taste. And then, as before, simply trim the crusts. Of course, all of these trimmings are the chef's reward. I think I'll cut this into fingers. All right, I'm assembling this étagère. So I have a couple of scones on this second plate, of course the sandwiches on the lower plate, and then I have some creme fraiche here. Now, traditionally you would use clotted cream, but I don't have any clotted cream, and creme fraiche is a perfectly good substitute for clotted cream, as is whipped cream. And then I have some seedless raspberry jam here. And then we have our gorgeous autumny Gingersnap cookies. Of course, Gingersnap cookies are not traditional for an afternoon tea arrangement like this, but I don't care. I love them. We're going to have our tea in front of the fire in the parlor. And I wanted to mention that I love this tea tray because it holds all of my tea equipment. It's really sturdy. I'm going to link this tray in the description below. Thank you so much for joining me for afternoon tea on this chilly afternoon. The sandwiches are wonderful. And before I go to a scone, I did want to try one of these Gingersnap cookies. Fabulous. They're crispy at the edge, they're chewy in the center. I just love them. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed your company. I hope you will check out my other afternoon tea videos. I will post a link to the tea playlist in the description below. In the comments below, let me know if autumn is your favorite season too. I love watching the leaves change color on the trees. I love hosting afternoon tea in front of a roaring fire. I hope you will give this video a big thumbs up, and if you have not already, be sure to subscribe and to tap the little bell icon to receive notifications every time I upload a new video. Again, thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time.